What's up everybody, it's your boy Duval here, back with some more GTA 6 videos for you guys. So today we're talking about the weather and hurricanes. And this is actually a year ago by Cyberboy, so let's get into it because I really would love to see some amazing things. Hurricanes, storms, all of that stuff.
Rockstar
Let's get
game
into it.
entries, GTA 5 to Red Dead Redemption 2, we've seen the introduction of more advanced weather systems. And in today's video, we're going to take a look at what we can expect to see from GTA 6. But before we get into today's video, if you do find any part of this video useful, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. Thanks to Medic Shaw Shot 8 for this video suggestion. Back in the earlier Grand Theft
That's exactly
Auto
what I
days,
want to see.
we were first introduced to adverse weather in GTA Vice City. When players initially opened the game, we were greeted with a radio announcement that the bridges in Vice City were closed due to a recent hurricane. Back in the early 2000s, Rockstar used weather as a storytelling move and a strategy to stop players from travelling to the other parts of the map. This was in line with a lot of games from that time period, where the objectives were very linear, as at that point in time, that's what the technology was limited to. Fast forward to GTA 4 and GTA 5, we can see more advanced weather systems and more believable rain dynamics, along with more improved sound design and of course the graphics. But that didn't even scratch the surface of the weather systems that Rockstar implemented in Red Dead Redemption 2. Now with Red Dead Redemption 2, the first thing we need to talk about is the realism of the implementation. In Red Dead Redemption 2, pressing down on the D-pad will give a temperature reading in either Celsius or Fahrenheit. The weather also determines what type of clothing a player should wear. Light clothing in cold climates will reduce the player's health, as will wearing heavy clothing in hot climates. This was the start of the relationship between the world's weather with the character's response to their environment. Red Dead Redemption 2 not only had rain, cloudy and overcast weather, but also added in dry thunderstorms, which is thunder without the rain. Alongside this, we had dust storms, snowstorms, alongside fog and mist. This gave us a new dynamic to gameplay in the game and showed excellent usage of volumetric effects, particularly in the case of realistic clouds. Now, this brings us on to Grand Theft Auto 6. In 2021, Rockstar Games had a job listing open for a VFX artist that could create realistic weather dynamics in
Large-scale destruction. I know that likely has to do with the weather because of tornadoes and hurricanes breaking shit, but that just feels like procedural destruction itself, like buildings crumbling. But that's really CPU intensive. That would be really demanding on the hardware anyway.
With large-scale destruction mechanics. From the job listing, the impression was that the weather and large-scale destruction were closely related mechanics. This allows us to safely conclude that Rockstar are exploring the possibility of making weather destructive in the game. Now, rain can be destructive of course, but these coastal towns of the USA are known for the adverse weather conditions. These include things like hurricanes,
especially Florida.
And unfortunately, these often cause large-scale destruction of homes and businesses. With the hurricane theme always been present for Vice City, even since the early GTA Vice City game, it's not really a stretch to assume that hurricanes and extreme weather will be making a return in GTA 6. Now, as I mentioned earlier in the video about Red Dead Redemption 2 finding ways to link the weather
that watch is so
with the
huge and obnoxious.
For example, the clothes you're wearing being directly related to your character's health. It'd be very interesting to see how Rockstar Games implement this into GTA 6. As we can see from the trailer, dirt on characters' clothes looks far more realistic, and this begs the question, how will water, snow, dirt, whatever other elements we may have in the game, how will that affect you as a character whilst playing the game? Now in Grand Theft Auto 5, when you go into the water, your character is wet, and when you come back out of the water, they very quickly just miraculously dry off. In Red Dead Redemption 2, they tackled this by having more realistic drying times and aesthetics to the clothing. Clothing got dirty due to the environment around it, and we can safely assume that for GTA 6, Rockstar will use this implementation but expand upon it. So I for one am very interested to see how Rockstar Games take everything they've learned from Red Dead Redemption 2 and implement that into GTA 6. And something else we can see from the GTA 6 trailer is the way that Rockstar have implemented volumetric clouds, but also the way they've implemented fog. Now in this scene here in Grass Rivers, also known as the Everglades,
and the density of the fog too, and the way the sun just overpowers the entire scene. I don't remember it being this intense in GTA 5. It was good, but nowhere near this level. Look at how the yellowness of the sun illuminates the entire scene and makes it orange.
It's really cool to see how dense this fog is. Now I know fog probably isn't the correct term, it's haze, it's whatever it might be called, but it's really cool to see how this has been implemented. However, in November of 2023,
I'm pretty sure it's fog.
A Screen Rant article surfaced stating that the dynamic weather systems would be cut from the game. However, it is important to note here that the source for this was the Rockstar Universe Twitter page, which is
Extreme weather was scrapped, although it wasn't stated at what point in the game's development. Blah, blah, blah. A little bit further, Rockstar initially wanted hurricanes in the game, but didn't know these weather types would cancel due to technical limitations for a different reason. Maybe it would push the PS5 too hard, and it would go below 30 FPS. I'd love to see it though. Imagine trying to maneuver, traveling across the map while a hurricane is happening. That would add so much fun to the
intents and
gameplay.
purposes, a fan page. So we have no solid evidence of this being the case. The main evidence that's been pointed to of hurricanes and extreme weather not being in the game was simply because we didn't see it in the trailer. But in my opinion, something not being in the trailer doesn't necessarily mean that it's not going to be in the game at all. Another issue we have here is that when you Google hurricanes in GTA 6, there are articles from Sportskeeda and Gaming Bible all citing the same tweet from the Rockstar Universe.
I see Sportskeeda all the time in my feed.
Cited a source for this information. So in my opinion, any evidence that has no source or no basis, 9 out of 10 times can be discounted entirely. Now this isn't me trying to discredit Rockstar Universe or throw away his thoughts and opinions, but it isn't really a fact I can consider in the making of this video. Something that throws some weight to us actually seeing hurricanes in the game is this clip from the trailer, where it would appear we can see strong winds and water being pushed around by the wind.
Yeah, this is the one.
But that's all we really have. The next thing I want to talk about is something that I think is only fair to bring up. There are reasons why Rockstar would avoid using dynamic weather systems in the game, such as hurricanes. Obviously we'll have winds and rain and stuff, but strong hurricanes and real-world destruction are things that Rockstar could potentially avoid. Now the main reasons for this is 1. Time, effort, cost, money, etc. Obviously these aren't big factors for Rockstar because of how big they are, but they're still things that have to be considered. The next thing is sensitivity. You know, hurricanes destroy people's homes, and especially on the coastal areas of Florida, where this has literally taken away people's lives, their livelihood, their business, their homes, everything. It can be deemed somewhat insensitive to turn that into a fun characteristic in the game.
I hear you, but I feel like that's not that big of a reason because it's a game about literal stealing, killing, and murdering. And just any crime you can think of, so it would offend damn near everybody.
Now, I want to make it very clear here, I'm not saying it is insensitive. I understand there's a difference between art and reality, but it can be deemed as offensive to some people. So part of me does understand why they may avoid it. And the next thing, which I think is probably the most likely, dynamic weather systems such as hurricanes, severe rain, all of this sort of stuff, can be quite labour intensive for a GPU, especially in a games console. Now, I see a lot of people commenting on my videos that have, you know, RTX 4090s
PS5 Pro
and really nice PC builds.
Yeah, but they're not focused on the PC version right now. They have to make it run on PS5. That's the baseline.
You've got to remember, Rockstar isn't making the game for those people. They are making the game that is most commercially viable, which is a game that will work on consoles. Now this game is releasing on PlayStation 5. From what we understand, it won't be the PS5 Pro, even though that's due to come out later this year. It will be releasing on the base model PlayStation 5. Now that means that there are some limitations in terms of what the game can process, and things like hurricanes and real world destruction is going to be quite labour intensive. Having a hurricane in the game that knocks down a building, and you've got
hardware intensive as well.
Effects, as well as fog, mist, rain. All of that is quite labour intensive. Now I know that the PS5 is a very capable console, and the same with the Xbox as well. They're both extremely capable consoles, but this is just my opinion. I think that GTA 6 is going to be stretching the limits of those consoles as it is. Never mind with all of these advanced weather systems. Obviously, you're all welcome to your opinion on this, and I do encourage you all to put it down in the comments down below. It's very interesting for me to see different opinions, and this is kind of like a bonus reason, a final reason. During 2020 to like 2021-ish sort of time, Rockstar's offices were pretty much closed because of the pandemic and other things like that. They have lost 2 years of development. Now, they were looking for people to do these roles in 2021, but with Rockstar being under fire in the past from actor unions, representatives, all that sort of stuff, for the crunch work ethic that they have, where a lot of employees were under a lot of pressure, I can understand why they might pull back some of the expectations of the game to make a better quality game, but just sacrifice things like advanced weather. But in my opinion, I think the advanced weather systems would make the game that much more interesting. I'd be really keen to hear all of your thoughts below on this. And of course, if you have any more sources or information, please let me know. Also,
alright guys, so that's it. That's my reaction to weather and hurricanes in GTA 6. Hope y'all enjoyed. Don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe, turn on post notifications, all that good stuff. Follow my socials, my TikTok, Instagram, Discord, it'll be in the description. And with that said, I will see y'all in the next video. Goodbye.